Reading vlog time to wrap up the end of week 2 for June of 2021, and it's been an interesting week, so let's discuss what I've been reading. Now, in case you missed my midweek reading vlog, I spoke about Unbelievable. I'm just going to quickly go over it again. So this is book number 4 in the Pretty Little Liars series. I have a goal, well, unofficially anyway, I have a goal to read one Pretty Little Liars book per month, and this is the 4th one. My niece lent me the first 8, which is just so overwhelmingly generous of her. Thank you again. And just enjoyed this book in some ways, and in others did not. The basic premise of Pretty Little Lies is that it follows these 5 girls who are sleeping over in a barn. Overnight, one of the girls goes missing, then winds up being dead, and the remaining 4 girls end up being stalked by a cyber stalking antagonist known as A, and the girls are trying to work out who A is. By the end of this book, we find out who A is. We get that reveal. I loved the book, but I was let down by the reveal, so I end up giving this book 4 stars. Now, because I didn't read Pretty Little Liars last week, I read that book, Unbelievable. Sorry, not last week, last month. I read that book to catch up with May. So that was my previously May PLL book of the month. So then I, after that, read my June PLL book of the month, which was this one, Wicked. I had just started this book during our midweek reading vlog, and it was going okay. I have to say, comparatively between these two, they were very, very opposite. I loved the first 3/4 of this book, but I really did not enjoy the reveal at the end. I kind of just waded my way through the first 3/4 of this book because it's more just setting us up. We have a new A, so we're being set up with how this new A is playing their game, I guess. But the ending, the climax at the end, was really well done. Now, I can say that we don't know who the new A is by the end of this book. I did not expect that. Book number 5, I only found this out recently, starts off the second era of the Pretty Little Liars series. So I don't expect we're going to find out who the second A is for a little while. But as I said, first 3/4, I was just kind of, trying to make my way through it. It was okay. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't terrible, it was just okay, but the final climax was amazing, so I still end up giving it 4 stars. If you have gotten to this point in the series, then I do recommend you read this book because it continues on the storyline. But I'll be reading book number 6 in July. So, on to the next thing that I read, and then I picked up Every Value Break by Peter Swanson. This is an adult thriller, and it is one of my new release books for 2021. Not mine, I didn't write this book, Peter Swanson did, but one of the new release books for 2021 that I read this month. And an adult thriller. I was really excited going in. I remember doing my most anticipated new releases for 2021 video in December of last year, and with this one, talking about the premise and how excited I was for this book. Now, if you don't know, the premise of this book is that we are following a husband and a wife who have just gotten married. They go away on their honeymoon to an island, and while they are there, the bride, or the wife, if you will, discovers a man that she had an affair on the husband with. So obviously some drama was going to go down with that, or at least that's what I thought. I was incredibly let down by this book, which really surprised me. I mean, just seriously, cue a book tag coming up at some point saying, name a book that surprised you in a negative way, and here's your answer, Every Value Break. I was so excited to read this and was so let down. The first half of this book was just incredibly monotone. Now, I've come to understand, because I've done a little bit of, motivated research, let's put it that way, because I'm not really liking this, but I wanted to do some research on thrillers and why it is that we spend a lot of time getting to know our characters before anything sort of happens. This book is a prime example of that because it takes till the halfway mark before anything big actually happens. So it's rather significant with this one, where even with other thriller books that I've read, we still have a good chunk of time before anything big does occur. What I found out was that apparently readers want to be so incredibly invested in our characters that we need to know everything we can about them before the big scene occurs. Now, I would like to provide a rebuttal to that, if that is okay, and if you'll allow me to do so. I am someone who definitely wants to be invested in my characters. Don't get me wrong. I'm a plot-driven reader, not a character-driven reader, but I am definitely someone who wants to be invested in my characters. However, not to the extent that in a 300-page book I'm needing to wait 150 pages until I'm fully invested and something can happen. It just took way too long. Now, let me give you in a spoiler-free way my thoughts on the second half of the book once things started happening, I guess you could say. And yeah, it was interesting, and there was definitely a big chunk of time. I guess I would say maybe the 3/4 of the way. Oh, sorry, between halfway and the 3/4 mark, where I was really invested in the book. I was loving everything that I was reading. It was just done incredibly well. But I am going to make the point that I was incredibly disappointed by the climax of the book. It's really interesting because with most thrillers that I've read, they're whodunit books, where we're trying to work out who is the bad guy, so to say, right? But with this book, we were more trying to work out what the heck is going on here, I guess, is the best way to put it. So it's a thriller, and as I said, the wife is on her honeymoon with her husband. She sees this other guy that she's had an affair with, and she's just trying to work out what the heck is going on here. Why is he here? This is a little bit weird. It's a little bit too much of a coincidence. And other things happen in the first half of the book that make you realize it might not be a coincidence. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so that's something that is very easy to take away from the first half of the book, is that it might not be a coincidence. When the reveal of what the heck is going on here finally occurred, I was so incredibly let down. We have, I'll put it this way, this is still a spoiler-free way to put it. We had a climax that had the potential to be extremely action-packed. And it wasn't. It just wasn't. And that just really let me down. There were many times where I considered DNFing this book, but I just kept thinking, it'll get better, it'll get better. It's a thriller, it's all about the reveal, let's get to the end. But it really just wasn't that good a read, and I can't honestly come on here and say to you guys that I highly recommend it, because I don't. I really don't recommend this book. As I said, from the halfway mark to the 3/4 mark, I was invested in the book and I did enjoy that section. So I ended up giving this book based on everything, not only my own enjoyment level, but also objectively, I just don't think this book was well written. And I'm sorry to say that in case Peter Swanson happens to come across my video, I'm sorry to say it, but I just don't think it was. So based on my emotional side, and also based on my professional objective side, both of them agree that it's a 2-star book. So 2 stars for this one, and I was let down. So now we're going to talk about what I'm going to be reading for next week, and then we're going to talk about next week. So let's talk about what I'm going to read next week, and I'm going to start off with this book, which is Christina Lauren's In a Holidays. This is I think it's my first romance for the year, but I could be wrong on that, but I think it is. Anyway, I have a goal to read 6 romance books by the end of 2021, so I really want to hit the ground running, and I think this is the first romance book that I have read. Now, for those of you who did not see my goals video, I made a very big distinction with the 6 romance books that I'm going to be reading that I set the goal for. They need to be straight romances, man, woman, or boy, girl, whatever you want to call it. And that is because I also have a goal to read 12 LGBTIQ plus books. So it wouldn't make sense for me to say 6 romance that could include LGBTIQ plus main characters, because I already have that as a separate goal. But anyway, so I'm really not that far into this book at all. I'm literally on chapter 2, which is page 11. So, look, so far I don't think I've read enough to be able to judge anything, so I'm just not going to. I think the best thing for me to do is come back to you guys and tell you my thoughts once I've gotten further into the book. But I've started it, so we'll see how we go. Once I finish Inner Holidays, my plan is to pick up this book, Mexican Gothic, by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Now, some of you were commenting on my video saying you were very interested to see my thoughts on this book, so thank you. I appreciate the interest, and yeah, it's not too far away. I'm rather intrigued by it myself. From what I've heard, the term Gothic being here is there because the book has Gothic tones to it, which I love books that have Gothic tones to it, and the Mexican part of it is because there's Mexican culture within the book, so I love cultural reads as well. So I am looking forward to reading this one. Also, I think I said that this book is an adult thriller with my June TBR video, but I've gone on to find out that it's not. It's actually marketed as an adult horror. So we'll see how we go with this one. If I do end up finishing this one early enough, then I'll move on to my third book, which is this book, The Woman Outside My Door by Rachel Ryan. Now, I was more intrigued by this book than I was by this one, so I hope this book doesn't let me down because it just sounds really amazing. We will see how we go. So, now that that's done, I need to discuss with you guys what's going to happen next week, and then we'll wrap things up here. So, I really desperately want to get some book reviews out to you guys, and with my, as of 2021, posting schedule being 3 days a week, and with this month, 2 of those days being taken up by reading vlogs, I haven't really had a lot of time to do reviews. So next week I am going to change things up a little bit, and I'm going to just bring you one reading vlog. Now, I don't know, it will come at the end of the week, I believe. It'll be the end of the week this week or the start of next week, one of the two. So it will be an end of week reading vlog, but there'll be no midweek one, if that makes sense. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm either going to do like I normally do. Well, normally, I've just gotten back into it this month, but what I've been doing so far this month by just sitting here and talking to you guys about everything that I've read that week and my thoughts and feelings, or I could go back to doing what I was doing last year, which is to kind of do 2 or 3 minutes every single day checking in with you guys, or every second day or whatever in the one video. So I'll let you guys decide that for me. Let me know in the comments below. I might start, at some point later today, filming that just in case you guys want a day-to-day weekly vlog. But if you guys don't, then I'll just do a summary for it at the end of the week. So you guys let me know what you want, and I'll go off what you guys say you would like me to do. But it will just be one video that you'll get at the end of the week. And the reason for that is because I'm going to get a bunch of reviews out to you guys. Now, by a bunch, I mean that I'm going to do 2 review videos. Each of those 2 review videos are going to contain 2 books in those videos, so I'm going to review a total of 4 books over the course of 2 videos during this week. So let me know if there's any books that you would like for me to preference. If you have a preference is I guess what I'm trying to say there, for the books that I've read so far, and I will get on to those. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do spoiler free and spoiler. I think I'm only going to have time to do spoiler free, but if you guys would really like to see me do a spoiler side of a review for a particular book, do let me know early as you can, so I can try and make room for that there. But in the meantime, wrapping up what I have been going through this week. So, read Unbelievable, gave it 4 stars. PLL Book 4, then went on to PLL Book 5, also gave it 4 stars, and also finished Peter Swanson's Every Value Break, was disappointed by this one and gave it 2 stars, and I seriously just cannot recommend it. For the rest of the week, I'll continue on with Christina Lauren's Inner Holidays, then I'll move on to Mexican Gothic, and then I will move on to Rachel Ryan's The Woman Outside My Door. I hope you guys are having an amazing reading week this week, you guys. Let me know the books that you're reading this week and how you're going with them in the comments below. I love chatting with you guys over there, so I can't wait to see what books you guys are reading and how you're feeling about them. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you guys go with peace, blessings, and so much love. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading!